but we winning though. They used to laugh at us, now we winning though. They used to tell me never in my lifetime.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to another exciting episode of Strong Arm Sports. This is our midweek show, a little bit smaller in detail, straight to the point because we know you guys got work and school in the morning. I'm KSpadeTheProspect.
I'm your boy {LeParis57, and together we form Strong Arm Sports. Spade, man, it's been a crazy, controversial week, and it's just started. That's what's crazy. It just started. You know what I mean? But it kind of got my blood boiling. It kind of got me wanting to bring something to the forefront.
Oh, I like that.
Can I kick it off?
Yeah, I like that. Your blood boiling? Let's go.
All right, let me kick it off, man. Let me kick it off. So, if you guys been living under a rock, the NFL draft just happened, and the Seattle Seahawks, among other teams like the Dallas Cowboys, drafted some controversial guys that have some issues with the law. So if you guys haven't heard, the Seattle Seahawks drafted this guy from Michigan, defensive end named Frank Clark. He was kicked off of the Michigan football team because of a domestic violence charge. He pled down to a lesser charge. We all know that the Dallas Cowboys took Gregory, who had some issues. Bray was drafted by the Broncos, who had an issue with marijuana citation whatsoever. And it kind of got me to think: should these sporting teams, should these leagues have better? I don't know, Spade. Help me out here. Should they?
You want to know if they should have some standards?
Yeah, man. Do they need standards? Because I mean, these guys have these issues coming into the league, and they still come in the league. They still make millions of dollars. I mean, if I had these type of issues in regular life, I apply on an application and say I have a misdemeanor or a felony or an arrest, I wouldn't get a job. But these guys have these problems, not one, not two, numerous big issues, and these guys come into the league and make millions of dollars. Greg Hardy, the Dallas Cowboys knew Greg Hardy was going to be suspended for some games. They still signed him. He's still going to get paid for his time being on the field. And he's going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I mean, he has a major issue. Should this be stopped, Spade? That's what I want to know.
See, this is a good one, but it gets tricky because you're asking some guys who are running a business to have like moral standards. And typically when they do in real life. They do it a regular job though. Kinda. For the most part. Like you said, if you got an arrest, it definitely is gonna have an impact on you seeking employment. More so some places than other places. You know what I'm saying? There's some places that hire you with a felony. Not a lot. And I want to assume some of these teams are the same way. Some teams got more, moral standards than the others. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that makes this a great area is, at the end of the day, what makes a pro basketball player, football player, or baseball player, what makes them different from you and I is their exceptional abilities. And unfortunately, in this business, sometimes those exceptional abilities get you passes. And I would like to see them hold a higher standard. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but I feel like it looks worse to somebody trying to get into the league. Let's take Ray Rice, for instance. Ray Rice had been in the league. For the most part, kept his nose clean. Didn't get in any trouble. You know what I'm saying? I think he was respected around Baltimore. The situation with him and his wife or fiance at the time, whatever she was, girlfriend, it's a bad situation. I don't think I'm making light of the situation. I'm not. But I feel like he wasn't a repeat offender. He wasn't a guy that was just doing stupid stuff or wild stuff. He was a good guy. Whatever happened that day was horrible. And I'm not as upset about him getting a second shot as I am about a kid who is in college breaking the law, getting arrested and convicted, being convicted of felonies and still getting an opportunity to be this elite athlete that little kids are going to look up to. And I know that's a double standard. It's a double-edged sword for me. I would like to see them have higher standards, but even though I know this isn't answering your question, to me, I think the standard should be higher for those looking to get into the league. I feel like forgiving and second chances, I can kind of see that more so for somebody who's already has a resume in their league. That's what I think. I don't know.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying none of these guys deserve a second chance. I think everybody deserves a second chance. To me, I think people can change, but the rules don't apply to regular folks, and that's what kind of grind my gears. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if I had a felony or you had a felony, unless we pretty much took up a trade and became a truck driver or a plumber or something like that, we cannot go to a lot of these corporate. I ain't gonna say all, but we couldn't go to a lot of these corporate businesses and apply for a job and be able to make a living when these guys have numerous issues. It was even came out that one of the guys stole a computer, got caught with weed, like just so much. He has so many issues, and he still was drafted. Right. So I mean, I'm not saying these guys don't deserve a shot. They maybe they can change. I think Ray, the dude that the Broncos drafted, to me he seemed sincere in his apology. Seemed like he's going to fly straight and narrow right here. And I'm not saying all these guys can do that. For example, Josh Hamilton, the baseball player. I know we don't talk baseball much on here, but he signed a big contract with the Angels, and he had a relapse. He's a known drug user, and he had a relapse, and they traded him to the Rangers. So the dude, one of the managers from the Angels, came out and said, Josh Hamilton don't take responsibility for his actions. So instead of Josh Hamilton being like, he right, I got to check me, Josh Hamilton said they knew what they was getting themselves into when they signed me. What type of response is that? He's making hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's his response. He's still going to make his money. He's still an avid drug user, clearly, because he just had a relapse, and he's still going to make all this money, man. It kind of bothers me.
That's a shame. But you know what, man? As you were just talking right there, I thought about it, and you said unless we go and take up a trade, truck driving or whatever, in a weird way, man, these athletes, it's almost like they took up a trade. They are the very best at what they do, and I'm not saying that it's okay, but I mean it almost applies. And also everybody, like I said, it's not the same across the board. Let's look up Bones Jones. This guy, he got an issue with that booger sugar. He had to, what he had to do, get back his belts, and he's suspended indefinitely, right? So, you know what I'm saying? The UFC took a stand against him, even though it took numerous times of him goofing up. Like, he had to goof up repeatedly for them to say, you know what, this guy ain't going to get right. So, I don't know, man. That's a tricky one. I'd be interested in hearing what the other people think about it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comment section. I mean, we don't have the answers. I just kind of want to disturb the conversation. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know, should these leagues have higher standards? That's all I want to know. I'm not saying any of these guys do not deserve a second chance. That's not what I'm saying. I just want to know, should the league have higher standards? I mean, if a regular person come out of prison, they got to work super hard, way harder than a person without a record to get a job. That's I don't think the same rules apply in these leagues.
Not if you tell them.
We can move on, bro. It was a good conversation. And more on a serious note, let's lighten things up, homie.
All right, so check this out. In our last show, we talked about Maypac, whatever you want to call it, even though the past of that name is Cheeks. And you came up with a question to me. You said, Spade, would you want to see a rematch? And we kind of talked about it and we brushed it off. Well, today, Floyd Money Mayweather texted Stephen A. Smith and told Stephen A. year after Manny has his shoulder surgery, he's going to give him a rematch. Oh boy. Which, for one, confirms that he will do another contract, even if it's a smaller contract, because we know he only has one more fight on his contract. He's saying that fight is going to be in September. So that answers the question of whether or not he's going to go for the record, which I told you he would. But
kudos to you, bro, because you called it. Kudos to you.
So we're here. The rematch is already happening, I guess. I mean, it's not official, but I mean, it's definitely some plans to do so. And I know how you feel about it, but just in case somebody missed our last show, how do you feel about the rematch?
You know, Manny already said, yeah, I want to fight him. I want to fight.
Of course.
I want to fight. I got to get my shoulder right, but I want to fight.
Of course.
But anyway, bro, I don't want to see a rematch. And I damn sure don't want to see a rematch for $100. I don't know if the pay-per-view I mean, Floyd, he's gonna blow it up. He's gonna turn it into a big spectacle. It's probably gonna be, you know, it's been, I'm doing the quote fingers here, rumors reportedly that it's gonna be in Pacquiao's hometown over there in the Philippines.
Oh, it's gonna be,
which will probably make it. Yeah, it's been reported that it might be over there in the Philippines.
It should be in
Manila. This might even be.
Yeah, it should be.
It might be. Yo, it's gonna be crazy if it's gonna be over there. Because you know Pacquiao. You know, Pacquiao people, they ain't he the president over there or something? The governor? He's something over there. They're gonna ride for Pacquiao.
He's somebody. Yeah. It's gonna be tough.
Me personally, I don't want to see a rematch. I mean, it's funny how they said Pacquiao's shoulder was hurt for 2 weeks. I knew, you know, they said his shoulder was hurt for 2 weeks. And it was no reporting about it. Pacquiao ain't came out and said it. And then after the fight, he was like, oh, my shoulder was hurt. But I know why Pacquiao did that. He ain't want to give up that money. You know, you say my shoulder hurt, you postpone the fight, you don't get paid. Pacquiao want to get paid, and that's why it's going to be a rematch.
Well,
how you feel about it, though?
I agree with you, but I disagree. Here's what I think. Okay. And keep in mind, yo, on the last show, I made Floyd Mayweather my strong arm performer of the week because I said he's a business genius. This is how I think it's going to go down. The rematch, everybody right now, they kind of upset. They saying, I don't want to see the rematch. I won't pay for it. Here's what's going to happen. Bookmark this show right here. Like, if it's on iTunes, download it and save it so you can go back to this in a year. People will watch the fight. They will be interested in the fight. They will order the fight regardless of what it costs. And the same people that's pissed off now be pissed off again. But let me tell you why it's going to work. I think Floyd went to Manny and said, Manny, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you an alibi. I want you to say that your shoulder was hurt. Manny said, my shoulder's fine.
So you don't believe it?
No.
Wait. I got to cut you off.
Not at all.
So you don't believe it?
Not at all. But I'm going to tell you why it's genius. I'm going to tell you why it's genius. Manny been holding the damn selfie stick, taking pictures of himself. He been holding the selfie stick. Ain't nothing wrong with his shoulder.
Okay.
But seriously, they build this fight as good versus evil. It's a lot of people that hate Floyd Mayweather. And those people want to believe that Floyd can be beaten. Right now, they don't believe Floyd can be beaten. But if Floyd makes those people think that Manny wasn't at 100%, those same people going to come back like Floyd's going to lose this time. And they're going to come back and order that damn fight again. Because Floyd's going to sell you on the fact that Manny's going to be bigger and better a year from today. He's going to be a year older.
A year older.
But Floyd's going to convince you that Manny's going to be bigger and better next year. And you're going to order the fight again because Floyd is a genius. I see you, Floyd. I see you.
Spade, let me ask you. You ordering the fight? If it's another $100, you ordering the fight, Spade?
Well, hold up. Now, I didn't pay $100 for the last fight, but I found a way to see it.
That's not what I'm asking.
I'm gonna find a way to see it.
That's not what I'm asking you.
I'm gonna find a way to see it, bro.
Spade.
Me and a lot of other people.
It's gonna be the same outcome. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that. Spade.
It's gonna be the same outcome, but I'm gonna go watch the witch doctor cook up his brew. Because everybody.
Yeah. He's definitely. Dance puppets.
Yeah.
Dance.
Look, Manny gonna be coming in there with the good shoulder. He gonna be shoulder leaning and bankhead bouncing. They gonna be like, oh, Manny's strong this time. He's gonna get him. And Floyd gonna dance around and 1-2 his ass.
Let me strong arm you, Spade. I got a strong arm you, Spade. Let me strong arm you. I got a strong arm you. Because did you hear they came out and said that Pacquiao wanted to take a cortisone shot in his shoulder, and Mayweather camp said, "No, sir, not before this fight." Do you think it was a cortisone? Shot?
Hell no. Let me tell you guys something. Yo, I like that we able to go off on these side tangents. See, this is what's good about the midweek show. We got such a small set program that we can do this. But anyway, Floyd and Manny, not just those guys, a lot of people, man. Roy Jones. Zab Judah, what happens is you got a little small, like, super welterweight guy. And he beats up all the super welterweights. And he can't get money anymore. So he goes up a weight class. And then he beats up those guys. And then he can't really get money anymore. And he goes up a weight class. And it keeps happening until what happens is you got a guy who's fighting at a weight that he don't walk around at. So he loses his power. He loses his power. He's still fast. but that's not his natural weight, so he loses his power. I've seen it repeatedly.
Okay.
Manny kept moving up, kept knocking fools out. Everybody was like, how is he doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Floyd and his camp started, you know, suspecting Manny of performance-enhancing drugs, whether you believe it or not, guess what happened, though? After Floyd then brought the heat down, Manny stopped knocking fools out. You notice that? When was Manny's last knockout? Like 3 years ago? 3 years ago?
And he started going to sleep. He started hitting the snooze button.
So
he started hitting that.
So if a man who was knocking a bunch of people out until I brought suspicion that he might have been taking PEDs, and he want to do anything with a syringe, hell no. He can't even get a flu shot before the fight if I'm fighting him. I don't know what he got in that syringe. Hell no. Hell no.
Yo. Spade, I want to know in the comment section. I want to know, do you guys want to see a rematch? If and when it will be a rematch, are you guys going to purchase this rematch? Or are you going to go to a sports bar or somewhere to go watch this thing? Because me, I really don't even want to. I don't want to see it at all.
Don't ask them. I don't. Because today they're going to tell you they don't want to see it. But when the witch doctor get to cooking up this story about how strong Manny's shoulder is, they'll be back hoping to see him get pummeled in the ring. They'll be back. Trust me.
You right. They'll be back.
What else we got, bro?
You ready to move on? Yeah. So the NBA, we know the NBA playoffs is going, and Popovich, you know, they out of it, and you know they do the hacker whoever, hacker this guy, hacker that guy, and you know other teams picked up that, you know, that little strategy. They picked up that strategy. So the NBA and the competition committees was like, you know what? We need to look at this during the offseason. So the NBA is going to review this. Spade. Should the NBA remove the hacker whoever? You know, it started off with the Hack-a-Shaq. Popovich started out with Hack-a-Shaq, and him and Shaq used to laugh about it, but it was never this big to this magnitude of what it has become. Should they get rid of the hacker whoever?
I don't think so, man. I'm going to tell you something. Way back when I played ball.
Me neither.
I ain't even talking like up in age. I'm talking when I'm playing in the 12 to 14 league. You know what we did at practice? The whole team would line up, shoot free throws. If you made both, you got back in the line. If you missed one of your two, you had to run a lap around the gym. If you missed both of your two, you had to run 2 laps around the gym. We talking about adult millionaires. I don't know what's going on at practice, but you better make these guys learn how to shoot some free throws. What happens when the strategy, let's say for instance Rondo, who we know don't have a great jump shot. When defenders back off Rondo and let him take his shot, what the league gonna do? Like abolish backing off bad shooters? Get the hell out of here. Make these guys get better. Stop babysitting these millionaires.
I agree 100%.
What next?
Bro.
You gonna stand beside him in the urinal and put a funnel to make sure he peeing in it? Like, get out of here. They millionaires. They'll be all right.
Spade, let's dig deeper. Let's dig deeper, Spade. Because I can't dribble, you're not gonna call carry on me. You're not gonna call a travel,
right?
You know what I mean? Because I got big feet. You ain't gonna call a traveling. Like, what's next? NBA, do not, please. I'm begging you. Please do not get rid of that hacker whoever, because you wanna. I don't care if it make the game longer. You know what? You know what the other team need to do?
Get better.
You don't want them to get fouled? Take them out. Take them out. Take them out. If one of your best players, like, you know, I love DeAndre Jordan. I love DeAndre Jordan. He's one of the best rebounders, one of the top defenders in the league. But guess what? If he can't hit free throws and we want to use our fouls, which we have, which is a rule. We have 6 of them. If we want to get the guy at the end of the bench that we're paying, you know what I'm saying, to go foul Jordan, if you don't like it, guess what? Take your best defender off the floor and that'll stop it. Or he can practice and hit his free throws. If he can't hit his free throws, guess what? You got to take him out. Please, NBA, I'm begging you, don't change the rules. Don't change that rule. Yeah, let's get it.
Okay, so the question I have for you, the viewers, the listeners.
Okay.
NBA MVP award was just given out.
Steph Curry.
Everyone felt like it was between James Harden and Steph Curry. You know, some other guys that could have received some votes, but ultimately those were the two front runners. I knew going into it was a possibility that James Harden wouldn't win. It was a possibility that Steph Curry wouldn't win. But to see that Steph Curry won, and I saw a number, he got something like 100 of 130 first place votes. I don't know. I ain't James Harden, but I felt disrespected. 100 of 130? You got 130 on 100? Get out of here, yo. So my question is,
I'm still waiting on the problem, Spade. What's the problem?
Seriously.
Spade, what's the problem?
Was James Harden snubbed?
I want to know was James Harden snubbed? I love James Harden, man. He's been the strong arm performer on this show since we started.
Why y'all bring that up? Why y'all bring that up, though?
I'm just saying, I love James Harden, man. He's a favorite of the show. Let me just say that. He's a favorite of the show. We love James Harden on this show. But in my opinion, I don't think James Harden was snubbed, man. I don't think he was snubbed. I think Steph Curry deserved the award, man. I spoke on this a couple weeks ago. Best player on the best team in the league. I'm pretty sure you had some stats over there. In my opinion, I think Steph Curry I think it was well deserved. It was well deserved.
Here's my issue with it. As always, I knock all sports about consistency. I was just watching Game 7 of the Spurs Clippers. It was a great game. To me, it was a controversial call down the stretch. Chris Paul took a shot. Tim Duncan stood there, put his hands up, kind of stepped toward him. They called a foul. I was in the room. You know, we was at a fight party. There was a lot of people in there. I said, foul. He didn't even touch him. And the guy in there said, no, man, you got to give him room to come down. And I said, that's crazy. Like, they don't call that consistently. Well, the game finished, and they were showing highlights from the same game, and earlier in the game, it was the same. It looked identical. Somebody took a shot, somebody stepped up to him, and it was no call. And I said, that's my problem with the call. It's not consistent. And here's my thing with this MVP thing. If you want to say MVP always goes to the best player on the team with the best record, I don't have a problem with that. But let's not call it MVP.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, that's what people telling me.
That's not what I'm saying.
People tweeting me like, Spade, the best player on the team with the best record. Well, call the award the best player on the team. That takes all the guesswork out of it. If you're going to give it to the best player on the team with the best record, then it's non-debatable. Hell, we all could go to NBA.com and check the win-loss ratio and see who got the best record and look at who's scoring the most points. That's easy. But if it's most valuable player, there wasn't a guy in the NBA more valuable to his team than James Harden. Not one guy in the league.
Spade, let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you, it's a serious question too, bro. Do you think sports writers should vote? Do you think it should be the sports writers voting for MVP, or should it be the NBA's players' peers?
Well, I'm torn. And I think I got to lean sports writers. Even though I disagree with this one right here, if you made it the players in the league, man, that turns into a popularity contest. See, some of these guys are friends and some of these guys aren't. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to vote against your friend? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it should be players. I could see that getting real ugly. Well, check this out. I saw a tweet this morning.
Go ahead.
I retweeted this.
Okay.
Like the play-by-play commentator for the Knicks, I don't even know why the hell he gets a vote. But somehow or another, I thought this thing was all exclusive. I mean, you know, like, I don't know. I just had a brain fart. I don't know the word I'm thinking of, but, anonymous. I thought this stuff was all like anonymous. You couldn't see it. Okay. But they put his votes out, and they were killing him. They called him an idiot, whatever. They had his top 5. And he had, I know James Harden was first, and I know that Steph Curry was 5th. But what people had a problem with, I think he had Russell Westbrook 2. I think LeBron was 3. But he had Marc Gasol 4. And they was like, how the hell do you have Marc Gasol ahead of Steph Curry? And I was like,
Anthony. Okay. So you didn't have Anthony Davis on his list.
He didn't have AD on the list at all. But I mean, but that's his list. Another tweet I saw from a guy who had a vote said he accidentally left James Harden off his entire list.
Wow.
It was an accident. He said, I didn't intend to do that. Now, folks, you can find my Twitter My Twitter is @KSpadeThe64. I retweeted both of these tweets. The Knicks guy and the guy that accidentally left off James Harden. These things right here,
man,
they bring gray area. How you gonna accidentally leave off James Harden? The way he been cooking fools up this year? Come on, man. And I'm not saying that would have made him the winner, but these are just two cases. What about the others? What other crazy stuff is happening behind closed doors that we don't know about? I just feel like it's inconsistent, and I honestly think this goes down in history as one of the top snubs in MVP voting history, man. I really do. I just cannot believe that a guy. Let me just throw this at you, and I don't want to get too passionate, but you know I'm a James Harden fan. But this ain't me talking as a fan though. Like I really believe this. You take a guy who was a sixth man. I tweeted this. He was the sixth man in the OKC. He didn't even start for them. He goes to Houston. Okay. That team gets dismantled by injury. And he raised his level of play on both ends of the court. He averages 2 steals a game this year. He raised his level of play on both ends of the court. And he get that Houston Rockets team second in the West. Now, I know you don't have to tell me this. Golden State got the best record, and it wasn't edged up with Houston. They was up here, and Houston was down there. And I know that Steph deserves some credit for that. But only 2 teams in the NBA had more injury-related DNPs than the Rockets, and both of those teams get lottery picks this year. That's how injuries affected their team. They're going to get lottery draft picks. And this team right here is number 2 in the West. Wow, man. I can't believe that, man. I felt like you got snubbed. I really did.
First of all, Spade, this is my first time saying this to you. Relax.
So you just don't use my word?
Yeah, relax. It's my first time saying it.
I'm relaxed.
But, I mean, either way, I was good with. I wouldn't have been mad if James Harden got it. You know, to me, I think either way, I was good. Either way, I was good. I mean, you want to call it a snub? I say Steph Curry deserved it. I mean, Steph Curry, if I'm not mistaken, played like 6 or 7 minutes less than James Harden.
He played a lot
pretty much equal amount of points. Yo. That's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about per game. I meant per game.
Okay.
I meant per game.
Right.
But I mean,
what you can do when you playing on a better team. That you just made a point for James Harden.
Let me ask you this, babe. Let me ask you this. So if you don't like that the writers left James Harden off, if you don't like that these guys are like, what's the other alternative? Because we cannot let the fans vote. The fans can't vote.
I just wanted to be,
because I'm gonna tell you what, Kobe would be the MVP right now.
You ain't lying.
Kobe would be the MVP.
It'd be Yao Ming. He ain't even in the league. But no, I just wanted to be more clearly defined. Like you can take 10 sports fans. Let me be more specific. You can take 10 NBA fans and ask them to define what's the MVP. And you're going to get 10 different answers because nobody knows, and I don't like that. That's my problem right there.
I agree.
And they keep it blurry on purpose so that whenever they pick somebody, you can't say it's BS because you don't know what the hell it is. We don't know what it is. So, honestly, that's my argument. And
I agree with that.
Let me backtrack and do this. I definitely want to give credit to Steph Curry. Steph Curry had an amazing season. He's had an amazing story. We all heard he was a 3-star recruit out of high school. I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Steph. Steph is that dude. He the real life rainmaker. I've said that before. He's a beast. I just felt like what I thought it meant most valuable to their team. I also read, I think Steph Curry sat out something like 18 or 20 fourth quarters, which means his team had such a comfortable lead in like 20 games that he didn't play a fourth quarter. That's a luxury you don't get on a team dismantled with injuries. James Harden can't sit down no 24th quarters and that Houston Rockets team go to the playoffs. He can't do that. So
that's a good point, Spade.
So I'm gonna pump the brake.
Your points are valid.
I just wanted to be more clear cut.
I mean, what do you? My last question to you, because we're running kind of long. Last question. Don't you think the MVP announcement should come out earlier?
Yes.
Like, shouldn't it be earlier, like right after this? Like, maybe not right after the season, but it should not take second round of the playoffs.
It should be right after the season. All the other awards were given out a long time ago. Coach of the Year, all that stuff. 6th Man of the Year, that stuff came out 2-3 games in the first round. What are we waiting on? Like, and then I told somebody, I said,
don't know what we waiting on.
I think that they were looking at playoff performance and it was affecting their votes. And somebody tweeted me, I don't know if it's true, somebody tweeted me and said that all votes for MVP are due by the last game of the regular season. Well, if that's the case, who the slow-ass counter that can't count these? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? How long it take to count? Y'all ain't got no calculators up there? Man. You don't know how to carry the one? I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
You know what I mean? But as usual, this is over here on the Strong Arm Sports channel. Mm-hmm. We have made it to 500 subscribers. We want to thank you guys for banging that subscribe button over here. Definitely bang, yo, share the video, bang the like button. You guys get in the comment section. I want to know your thoughts about, the serious topics we were talking about today, as well as the, Maypac and just everything. Share your thoughts on everything that we talked about today, especially that MVP race. Spade a little upset about that.
I'm good.
I called that. Spade don't like me to be right. Spade don't like me. Relax.
I'm just not used to it, bro. You're not right a lot.
Spade don't like me to be talking.
I'm just not used to it. It's unfamiliar territory.
But, we want to thank you guys for your continued support, man. You guys been showing mad love on both channels. You guys come through on both channels. I know that's a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even want to come through on one channel. You guys show love on both of them. We appreciate you guys dearly. What I'm going to do for the podcast real quick, is I'm going to put the most recent 5 episodes on the podcast, and that's from here on out, it will be the most recent episode on the podcast. I'm going to try and have that up by the end of the week, no later than next week, and you guys will have the new on iTunes and all our other outlets, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We'll see you guys next episode, man. Peace.